working, Aspire Allergy and Sinus is here to help with an allergy test. You go in and get that test. And for a limited time, Aspire is offering a free sinus CT scan with an allergy test. Those scans are done right there in the clinic and can uncover issues preventing you from getting the relief you deserve. That's what I did. They went in and took a look at my sinuses. Aha! That's what the issue was. So they can fix it all for you. AspireAllergy.com, ASPIRE allergy.com. CT scans are only performed when deemed necessary by a medical provider. Age restrictions may apply.
Don't miss big savings on new Chevy Silverados. It's time to go big. Classic Chevrolet Sugarland. We're going big with over 1,800 vehicles priced for immediate sale. New Silverado 1500s, 2500s, Equinox, Malibu, and more. Now is the best time to upgrade for less. Get top dollar for your trade to save even more. Go big before it's gone. Visit ClassicChevySugarland.com.
104.1 KRBE, a Cumulus media station.
Good morning, everyone.
We ready?
Live from the CSU Energy Studio.
The Rule and Ryan Show with Eric, featuring Special K and Sam.
Okay, guys, there is controversy when it comes to how we are raising our kids. Always. We're always doing it wrong.
Yeah, we can never do it right.
What you think is right is wrong. Someone's going to shame you. Someone's going to judge you. You're going to feel guilty. You didn't do it right.
Truth.
Does anybody ever think, wow, I'm an amazing parent today. I killed it at this.
No.
I am amazing. I made no mistakes.
The ones that do are liars. And
Totally.
They're probably the worst.
Or you think you are doing something great, and then someone attacks you because you're doing what you think is right.
People love to put you down.
Yeah.
You can't win.
Try your
And,
best.
listen, you can't give your kid a phone because everyone's like, "Oh, you're giving your kid this phone." Then you give the kid a phone to save your sanity and somebody's judging you for what you're letting them watch. Well, do you know what your kids are really watching? Now, listen, there's all these different phases depending on how old your kids are, right? When my youngest was small, there was a channel on DirecTV that I think now Comcast jumped on board holding, but I'm not sure if they still have it. It was called Babies First. And Babies First was all day channel. And it has all these awesome little shows for kids, like Harry the Bunny and Vocabulary and all these things. And then we jumped from that to Cocomelon. Then from Cocomelon, you jump to Miss Rachel, who now has plushies in the store.
Is Cocomelon kind of like that Einstein stuff?
No,
or-
Baby Einstein was different. Baby Einstein's totally different than Cocomelon. Cocomelon is the graphics. It's on Netflix. I think it was on YouTube first.
I gotta look this up.
And the graphics are really big. They're big. It's like, imagine the camera
big.
is like close up on your face, like as if you're the character. It's animated, but it's really big, and their eyes are really big, and everything moves, and it's very colorful. There's a story about parents and influencers saying Cocomelon is like crack for kids with bright colors, loud music, the fast pace. They say it overstimulates kids and makes them behave badly. Is Cocomelon destroying our children? Well, Victoria texted in at 37530 and we said, can we talk to you on the phone? Because she said, I can explain what is going on behind Cocomelon.
She agrees with this assessment?
Well, let's find out. Hi, Victoria. Good morning.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Good morning.
Victoria, how old are your children, or how many do you have, or do you not have any and you're just going to explain your own thoughts? What's your background?
I've listened to you guys for decades, so I've grown up with you guys, so I love all of you guys, so thank you so much.
Awesome.
My little one turns 1 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I've worked with children for about a decade.
Okay.
Of all ages, from 2 to 30s. So Cocomelon is an absolutely no in my house. The brightness of each scene is very, very bright, and it's very overstimulating for children.
Okay.
As well as the scenes itself are too short. The clips are too short between each different scene, and it triggers something in the brain. Whereas, like, when you watch Sesame Street, it's like on a set and
slower.
The characters are walking, and it's much slower. There's not as much flashing lights. And we notice, I work with children with autism, but I also notice in our kids that are denied access to Cocomelon, or like we turn it off, they have higher behavioral deficits than if we just turn off like Sesame Street or
Interesting.
Do you think that it's teaching them to have a short attention span?
Yes, a little bit, yeah.
Because they're going to get that anyway a few years later.
So, Victoria, on the story about the Cocomelon destroying our children, they say The overstimulation is playing into the short attention span that kids already have. When kids get used to constant entertainment, they struggle with boredom and quiet play. The company that produces Cocomelon says, we dedicate substantial care and resources to ensure all of our content, including Cocomelon, is as enriching as it is entertaining. And they say that they work closely with experts in childhood development to inform their content development choices. But what you're saying sounds true, because if it is too short, because what I've seen of Cocomelon, it's subtitles, unless I just had that on my Netflix. I can't remember. Is it always subtitled, Cocomelon? Victoria, do you remember?
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah,
Why would they
in their
subtitle
stuff.
something that infants can't read anyhow?
Well, it's like not just
Sam wants to
infants.
follow the story.
It's like following the little ball.
So you literally need notes to figure it out.
They're saying
I don't allow Santiago to watch Cocomelon.
Wow, this is really good. This is almost
Such a
good.
jerk.
Ransom Canyon or whatever it is.
Victoria, one texter says with conviction, Cocomelon teaches your kids to lie. In what capacity is that true, would you think? I
Or
haven't
she's
watched
thinking of
enough
that
to
other
know
guy,
this.
the bald kid.
She's thinking of Caillou.
Caillou.
Yeah,
Caillou.
Caillou.
Do you think
don't
Cocomelon
know
teaches
about-
kids to lie?
I think it's Caillou, because Caillou
I
sucks.
don't know about that 100% because we don't watch it. So I don't know
Okay.
exactly
Okay.
if it's telling lies.
Yeah.
But
A lot of
I've
people are
watched a
agreeing with
little
you
bit
that it's
before
very
and it's not.
overstimulating. A lot of people are
It
agreeing
is.
with you.
Thank you so
Very
much.
overstimulating.
Interesting.
Thanks, Victoria.
Thank you.
Have a great day. We'll let you get back to your day.
you.
Take care, honey.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
I mean, we get that. We see like research that people like they can't handle if you guys talk about a subject for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
have to
You-
grab
Then how do you
them.
explain a podcast then that's an
Yeah.
hour long? How do you
You
explain
need to
that?
change your topics like every 3 minutes or
Yeah.
listeners
How do you
will
explain
get-
Audible then?
I'm like, well,
Whole book.
I
Oh,
think
God.
if
Whole
it-
book.
If it's good, it's good.
Right.
If it sucks, then you want it to end, and hopefully they got something
But
better.
consultants believe that if you don't grab their attention in 4 seconds, that you've lost them.
That was 7
I
seconds.
think that's due for
Keeps
newer shows.
decreasing.
Like a show like this, people pretty much know
You know what you're
you're going to
getting.
get.
Yeah, but for toddlers, that's crazy. Like, I like to play the songs, like Spotify or like my Alexa. I'll be like,
Yeah.
hey, play Cocomelon, because Santi
Yes.
likes the songs of
Music,
it, but
okay.
we don't watch it on TV.
How about
I like
what's the one
very
with the vegetables?
slow.
VeggieTales.
VeggieTales. Those are
They
the-
have like upgraded ones. Like
Like, kids
Santiago
love that.
loves like Trash Truck. And that is a very slow, stimulated show that if he can watch it, like. that's
Santiago's
what
2
to
years old for those that are newer to the
Yeah.
show. She has Sam has a 2-year-old toddler. Somebody texted at 37530. They absolutely saw a behavioral change in their child when they cut Cocomelon off. They said
Positive
that-
change?
No, bad. Like it was
So they're addicted
like
to
they
it.
could tell that the child was
Wanted it.
God, you guys are texting
like
so
they're
much
sitting
now. I
there
lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 3-year-old and we cut out
Got it.
Cocomelon and his change is super obvious. He still asks for it, but he listens better. He has
so
less
it's a
fits
positive.
and he sleeps
Positive.
better.
Yeah.
So it's a positive.
Yeah.
Once they get rid of that.
Yeah. This person said, I also noticed a behavioral change with my toddler! Exclamation points.
And most parents want these to last longer. It gives you like 15 minutes or 30 minutes.
Gives you a break.
Yeah, or you and your mate can go hang out. and
You're right.
Put a
What-
show on for 30
Here's
minutes.
a
Cars on.
positive Cocomelon
Yeah,
text. And then put cars on. The positive
My life
Cocomelon
right
text
now.
before I lose that one because you guys are texting so fast. Okay,
Yeah.
Cocomelon can be bad for kids if you leave it on 24/7. My son has autism and he was not talking. By 18 months, he was not saying any words, and that show is the reason he started learning how to use his voice and say things. Why can't we just leave parents alone? If they're going to screw up their child, then guess what? We can figure out how to fix it later. We don't need to shame parents for letting their kids watch something that makes them happy. See, I'm saying like for everything you think you're doing right,
Yes.
somebody's telling you you're doing wrong.
Yes.
But this is very interesting, the Cocomelon thing, because in my time as being a mom of when they were small, I never heard anything that was this damaging on something that my kids might
really?
like. Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
I'm trying to
When
think
I
of
was
this out
raising
there.
the kids, I wasn't like it was.
There wasn't a show that you were like, oh, yeah, we don't
Vampirina or
watch that.
Sophia
You
the
can't see
Princess.
that, yeah.
You know, Elena of Avalor.
Or
I never
Mickey
heard
Mouse
bad stories about that. Mickey Mouse
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse. I never heard bad stories about that. Remember the hot dog, hot diggity dog. I used to play that all the time because the kids would go
But
crazy
as a
for that.
mom, I'm sure you picked some shows that you didn't want to have to sit through. Like I would not let my daughter when she was little watch Teletubbies. I'm like, I can't sit through this. This is so mind-numbingly
There's one
bad.
on Baby's First that I could not handle, and it's these 3 giant mice in these mascot outfits. It's like live action, and they don't talk at all. There's just music, and they're like, oh no. Like it's not them, it's like a little chorus, and it's like,
yeah.
oh no. And they're looking around, and like they were so creepy looking, these 3 giant mascot mice, that I'm like, all right, we're skipping the mice. Oh, we're waiting until Harry the Bunny comes back on.
My son had that.
We're skipping the mice.
What was it, Bear in the Blue House?
Oh yeah. Didn't we go to? Did you go with me to that one?
No, I never went to that.
Bear with a
We
It was
went
a big
and saw it
bear,
live.
and then what was the other one?
Not the Bernstein
This is like 98.
Bears,
the
right?
Blue's Clues.
Blue's Clues. Yeah, they had
Big.
2 hosts.
And then
for
all of a
that.
sudden, 2 years later, it was Grim Reaper, like little cartoon.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, man, this stuff is dark.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My little brother Connor, he kind of watched
And the
that.
Fairly Odd Parents.
Very Odd Parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Tooth
Wanda
Fairies.
and
Was that the-
Cosmo.
Was that the Tooth Fairies or whatever?
No, they
Or
were
just
they
fairies?
were like their
Fairies.
guardian angel type
And then
scenario.
the
they
cat
watched
dog.
over
The
Timmy.
cat was
Oh
on
my
one side,
God,
the dogs
that's
was the
so
other.
Yeah.
Stupid.
There's some weird stuff.
There's
SpongeBob was the
really
one that grabbed my daughter from the get go, and she's 25 years old and still likes it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I just didn't like any of those.
what'd you like? Just sports?
Yeah, I didn't
But
like any of
when
those
you're
cartoons
older,
or
what,
things.
do you remember what you were watching when
Sesame
you were 4?
Street, probably. That's probably what
Yeah.
my mom would put on was Sesame Street. That's why I like to show Santi like the old school things. Like we're watching like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, but the old school,
Like the puppet type stuff.
not that far, but
No.
it's not the new one where it's like the really
Yeah, it's
vibrant,
vibrant,
bright
yeah.
They
colors.
very
Well,
much
they
changed Mickey
CGI
Mouse
and they make it
Clubhouse.
so bright.
Yeah, it's the one that came out probably when I was like we just
And
watched
much
the
like stuff we watched as a kid. G.I.
Yeah.
Joe, Transformers, He-Man, and
Some of that stuff we
Teenage
watched was
Mutant Ninja
Inspector
Turtles.
Gadget.
violent.
and Ninja Turtles.
Muppet Babies.
Reading
Oh, yeah,
Rainbow. And Muppet Babies is still on now. Kev.
Is it?
What
That's
is it? The
funny.
same kind of animation
Yes,
though?
same animation. And here's the thing I didn't know when I was watching it as a child, but I learned when my kids watched it. The nanny is always wearing tights, and there is a graphic on her tights that is the theme of the episode.
What?
Yeah.
that's funny.
Like if there's like, I don't know, I can't give you a good example, but let's say that they're going to talk about, we want to go to the zoo. Her tights have zoo animals on them.
Oh, okay.
Like whatever the theme of the episode is, Nanny has that graphic on her tights. Like that's what I noticed when my kids were watching it, but I don't remember Nanny ever having anything on her
Still the
tights when I
same
was
song,
a kid.
Muppet Babies, and make your dreams come true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better.
Muppet Babies were so cute. And Piggy
They did
still
a
likes
lot.
Hermie.
I've never
In the
seen it. I'll
80s and
look it
90s,
up.
they did a lot. They had Flintstone baby
Babies.
kids.
Oh, I don't
they
remember
made all
that
the
one.
characters
Captain
like
Caveman,
infants.
they had him as a little kid. They just take the adults and make them kids.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's why the
gosh.
Grim Reaper is not upsetting because it's a
What was that
small
one called?
child villain cartoon
Oh,
as a
okay.
baby.
And then there's that one, Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, yeah.
Dexter's
Yes.
That kid.
Do you remember
Never watched that
Jimmy Neutron?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's how I go see the movies. That was way better than that Winnie crap.
Oh, the Winnie the Pooh movie?
That and
was
the
so boring.
and there was not the Japanese anime one, Dragon Ball Z or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z.
Oh
I
my
didn't watch
gosh!
that.
I
Yes,
just
and they
sit
had
there-
the trading cards and all
Ugh.
that. My
I wish-
brother was into that with Pokemon.
I should have took my son to that, the theater that Kevin goes where you get drinks.
Oh,
you have
Alamo
to.
Draft
Yeah.
House.
It's another way to see a movie.
Alamo Draft
To
House.
see that crap.
Oh,
The
man.
anime.
The Rula and Ryan Show with Eric. Couples Court. 104.1 KRBE.
All right, hear ye. The Honorable Rula, Ryan, Eric, now presiding.
This robe is getting in my way. Can't get up on the bench like this.
Hey, at least you don't have to wear the white powdered wig.
It feels good. I don't have to wear anything
Because we're
underneath
not
it.
in,
Yeah.
olden
Feel
times
free.
in England.
Yeah, with that wig, a powdered wig.
Okay, so you can contact us at krve.com and tell us what you're bickering about and why you need couples court. Now, like we said earlier, it's not a relationship ending fight mostly. It's stuff that you just kind of want to have the bragging right of like, look, I told you I was right. Or they sided with me. You have to listen to what I want because
great is-
the couple is not finding an even ground on what they're fighting about.
We're never going to have a tiebreaker because there's 3 of us.
That's right. So Ashley and William have contacted the show for couples court. Let's find out what they're bickering about. We welcome them now. Good morning, guys.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Morning.
Hey, now, Ashley, you're the one that messaged us. It seems like you're at your wit's end right now, so we're going to let you take the stand and plead your case first.
All right. Well, I'm glad I get to go first. So here's the situation. Me and my husband, we've been together for about 7 years, and a lot of the responsibility, all the responsibility on me is to cook dinner. And for the 7 years we have been married, all he does is complain about what I'm cooking for dinner. And this is a constant argument that we are having. And to be honest, I'm really over it. I think in the 7 years we were married, he only cooked twice. And one of them was just microwaving one of those lean cuisines.
Oh, that's not cooking.
Come on.
It's not like she's just making these days. She's not just making like rice and beans or a Caesar salad. It's like these extravagant, involved things with spices. She's not making food that we like, so it doesn't count as making me a meal if I don't enjoy it.
Who's we? Do you guys have children?
We got a 5-year-old son.
A 5-year-old son, all he's happy with is mac and cheese and chicken nuggets and ketchup.
I think you got to keep it simple.
Right. You don't give him some Indian dish or some tiki marsala with the spice in it and add sriracha.
Man, you're getting me hungry.
In the 7 years you guys have been together, truly you have never cooked, William, other than the microwave meal. Is it because
That's true. No, I've cooked grilled cheeses. I've cooked the grilled cheeses.
That's not cooking.
Okay. One more question for Ashley. Ashley, I've said many years that if I won the lottery, to echo one of our players here on the show, Sam, the first thing that most women want to get is a chef, because the question of what's for dinner is so maddening, because you just do run out of ideas.
Keeps people up at night,
Rolla,
right?
do you
Yes.
give multiple choice? Like when you're going to tell the kids?
No, this is not a restaurant. This is not a restaurant, Ryan. We do not have the budget
just
for
asking.
multiple choice. Ashley, do you set up like a question to William, knowing that he's not going to, because it's a lot of effort, y'all. Nothing makes me crazier
how's this
than when I
work?
make something and nobody eats it.
Are you asking, hey, guys, I'm going to make this tonight? Or do you just make it and then they just walk in and that's what it is?
I make dinner and I expect people to sit down and eat it. Now, I will be honest with you. Our son doesn't even complain about what I make for dinner. And, you know, the way he's making
he
it
complains
sound.
to me.
Are you complaining about every meal? Because after like 5 in a row, I'd be like, you know what? I'm done.
I wouldn't even put in the effort if you're not going to be appreciative.
I'm just going to be honest. Just because you have bland taste buds doesn't mean the rest of us out here need to suffer. You make it sound like I'm doing like all of these crazy spicy dishes, but the fact of the matter is you just don't have any taste buds. You're bland. You're boring, and I'm so sorry that I'm just trying to spice it up a little. Maybe if your mother actually learned to cook.
You call it bland and boring. I call it meat and potatoes.
Yeah, meat and potatoes. I mean, Ahmad on our show, he's got a lot of like something I'll like, and then he'll like, oh, that was kind of basic or bland. I'm like, what are you talking about? That was good.
But I hear resentment in her voice.
Yeah.
What is the compromise here?
I just don't believe it's every meal. Every meal she makes is that you're going to critique. That's not nice.
That's not cool at all.
Well, that's what she's saying. I'm not saying that. I don't complain about it.
Yeah, but how did she get assigned the duty of having to do all the cooking?
I do the yard work. I do the cleaning of the house. I take the kids to most of their events. I'm a better hugger.
I'm a better hugger. Okay, what's the compromise here? We have to have some kind of a compromise.
Cooking class.
If you don't like,
that's a good idea, Eric. What about Sur La Table? You know, you guys go as a family.
Expensive.
You know how expensive that is? That
How
is
about-
expensive for one
I
class.
like that.
How about HEB? Don't they do those cooking classes? That guy with the microphone?
Oh, yeah.
Over there by
right
the-
over by the
crabs
meats
and
in
the-
the
No, you know
deli.
what I think? Why does this still fall on Ashley, though? I think this needs to fall on both of them. William, I think a compromise is...
Oh, he needs to do it.
You find some recipes that look like something delicious that you think both of y'all would like, and kick it to Ashley and say, hey, I'll buy the groceries for this if you will prepare this meal.
Does Wendy's count
Why doesn't
as
he
a
just go back to
recipe?
his mother?
God,
Oh, man.
you're not getting through to him.
Ashley, calm down with that mother comment. You don't want to get divorced.
I just feel like he doesn't have the confidence. I'm with you, bro.
Yeah, if he doesn't know how to cook, don't make him cook.
I can make parboiled turkey chunks.
Ew,
Oh,
what's
what the hell is that?
That
Don't eat
doesn't
that.
sound good.
Boiled turkey.
Oh, God.
Boiled turkey?
If we're going with boiled turkey,
Oh, that sounds revolting.
Then Ashley's never going to win the fight.
I'd like to see your menu. I'd like to see what you do make.
What was last night's
Ashley.
meal? What was last night's meal, Ashley?
You know, I thought last night's meal was pretty simple. It was just crock pot chicken and dumplings.
That sounds good.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
William?
but it was so herby. There was so herby. It was like
Herby?
all I could taste was like
Herby?
oregano, and then there was this big string. There's like a big leaf in it. Like I don't want leaves in my food.
Oh, my
Like,
God.
It's a basil leaf.
I don't want leaves in my food. I want that food to leave.
Oh, my God. You guys, okay, listen.
Oh, damn.
The compromise is, so for next week, you guys have to get together over the weekend, and William, you're going to give her some examples of some things that maybe she should try.
Yep.
And she's willing to cook it if you give her the list and what she needs to get, or maybe go to the
Do you
grocery
think
store
that
together
they
and get
should
it.
cook together by any chance?
Because if
No,
he's not good at it, she's going to be mad.
I think they should stay apart.
Yes, nothing makes me crazier, Ryan, than if I'm trying to cook something and then someone's over your shoulder saying, "Are you sure you put enough of that in there?"
Okay.
Or why are you
other
putting
than the
that in
cooking
there?
situation, is everything else good in your marriage?
I think so. I hope she says so.
You're the better hugger.
But I'm a bigger person too.
Yeah, so we all go with on her side then, right? Ashley.
All right, dude. You
Yeah.
got to zip it until you can bring something to the table.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for your help.
Instagram pics of the next meal at Radio Rula. Send that. I want to see your food.
Thanks for ruining my life, guys.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks for being on the
Bye.
show. Bye.
Take care, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Case closed. I don't understand
Boiled
any man.
turkey chunks. I don't understand.
That's-
Nobody wants that.
I think the only time you boil like chicken or turkey is if you're making like soup out of it.
I understand chicken, but
I've never boiled
turkey chunks, Kev.
Boiled turkey chunks. Okay, that is a little bit more far-fetched.
Yeah.
But boiled chicken,
Yeah, sure. You make
boiling
chicken soup.
a chicken to make pulled chicken something
But
or
you
other.
gotta put like celery, carrots, onions in there,
yes.
spices
yes.
and whatnot.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
make a
just
nice
water
soup.
and
Oh no.
put a shoe
poultry.
like the cartoons when we were a kid.
Oh, yeah. That's when they were super poor. We
Did I
had to
eat the
cook the shoe.
You know what? Someone
so
on this
crazy.
show during Frugal or Cheap said something that has changed the way I cook.
Tell me.
That is, I save all the nubs of the onions, the carrots, the celery, the broccoli, all the nubs, and I save it into one little bucket. And then at the end of the week, I boil that and turn it into a huge vat of vegetable broth. Then you can use that to flavor your steamed rice, Ryan, and your rice cooker.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Use that as the base of one of your things that we're talking about right now.
Sure.
So it's a
Chicken
really
stock,
great
and
way
chicken.
to save on broth.
And the other thing for Frugal or Cheap is if you get a rotisserie
88
chicken from the
cents.
store, you save the bones. Do not, as you debone that chicken, you're eating the breast meat or the thigh or
What are
whatever.
you using the bones for?
Take the bones
Yep.
and boil those with carrot, celery, onions,
Yes.
and make a chicken stock. You can freeze it in ice cube tray or freeze it in a mini quart tray,
perfect.
and you use that to boil pasta in or boil rice in. That's your water, and it's
The
delicious.
thing I don't understand
you.
is like anybody, if anybody is in your life and they're sweet enough to make you a meal, zip your mouth.
What if it
you do
sucks?
not need.
Then you get stuck with that meal for life. We've talked about
I
it
mean,
before.
you can say that's not my favorite.
Sam,
I
I'm so
like it
crazy
better
about
when you
that.
make this. That other dish you have is just my absolute favorite. Focus on the good, but don't tear the person down, especially if they're taking their time. And there's a lot of love that goes into cooking.
Nothing will turn a
shouldn't
person
tear
on
someone
fire
down.
faster than critiquing a meal that they prepared that you didn't like. Nothing will turn somebody sour faster because for them, they're putting together what they think tastes good and they just want you to like it.
Here's what
and
you
if
do.
you're like that side smirk we talked about earlier with the smirk
Don't
up,
go to all
like,
that trouble to make you hate it. They did it because they care about
If your
you.
man critiques your food, then after you guys have relations, you critique him and see how he likes it. And then
That's how
if
I
he
feel
gets
about my
mad,
chicken.
You go,
You
see?
call that lovemaking?
Don't talk about my muffins.
Oh my God.
Don't give me a muffin.
Eric,
My muffin
no.
and those muffins.
Don't say my muffins are dry.
Yeah, that's what, you want dry
Is
muffins.
this the raw feed?
Nobody likes a dry muffin.
Nope.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Anyway, coming up next, of course, we bring you everything
Let me
here on the
transition to
Real and
this
Ryan
one.
Show with Eric.
Yeah,
We're
go
now
ahead.
about to help
We
out the
talk
community.
about couple issues. We talk about fun things to do around town. We talk community events. It's time with the spotlight on a community event that's really important. Pancreatic cancer. They're having a local event this weekend. We want you to know all about it.
This is something
Purple
very-
Stride.
very
Purple
serious.
Stride.
It affects everybody. My godfather passed away from this just a few years ago.
There's so many
and I've
stories. Everyone knows
seen
somebody.
The toll that it takes on all the people around, the family. And this is a very important event.
And there have been some advances. It's not what we thought it was. There have been some advances in the longevity of your life if you are, in fact, diagnosed with this. It has gone up by a percentage that you can, have a chance.
Yeah. Mhm.
So we're going to learn more about it next on The Real and Ryan Show with Eric.
104.1 KRVE. I love it.
Back to Rule and Ryan Show with Eric.
All right, we usually do Celebrity Scoop here, brought to you by Taqueria Sarandas, but we want to put a little spotlight on a community event that's happening. We want to welcome our guest, Ileana Larson, here. She is a former nurse navigator for patients of pancreatic cancer, and she's here to tell us all about the event that's happening this weekend. Good morning, Ileana. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
Oh, let me get you a little closer to the mic.
Right up on that bad
there.
boy. There we
Now
go.
you said you're nervous. There's no reason
There's
to be
no
nervous. You've
reason.
listened to us for
We're
years.
just hanging out.
It's
I
just
know.
us. We were actually neighbors. So
Big fan
That's
of the
awesome. Yeah.
show.
So tell us, Ileana, about PanCan. Tell us about the whole thing, because pancreatic cancer is the third leading cause of cancer-related death we see, of course, in the stats. And is this Pancreatic Cancer Month? April is?
No, it's actually November.
November.
November,
Okay.
yeah. But
It's
they just had their
November.
big event
But you have
this
a big
Saturday.
event coming up this weekend.
Correct. So, Purple Stride is an opportunity for those impacted by pancreatic cancer to pay tribute to family members and friends touched by the disease, in addition to raise public awareness and funds to support better treatment options for patients.
Okay, now listen, pancreatic cancer first came into the scene, I think, nationally years ago when a famous actor died of pancreatic cancer and people hadn't even heard what it was. Do y'all know what actor I'm
Patrick
talking
Swayze.
about?
no,
Not
Michael
Patrick
Landon.
Swayze. Michael Landon.
Oh, yeah, that was way back in the day.
Way
It's
back
like
in the
30
day.
plus years ago. So he
was
came
like
out with
television sweetheart and was like, oh my gosh, Michael Landon died of pancreatic cancer so fast. Patrick Swayze also had pancreatic? I thought he had something else. Was it pancreatic?
I think it was.
Yes, I think it was. Yes, you're right.
I think it was. And Steve Jobs had it.
Oh, correct. And what we've learned is that it's very devastating to get this news because the survival rate is very low. But Ileana and I were talking off the air, and she said it hasn't been a marginal move, but every movement's a little bit. There's been a little bit of advances in your survival rate, right, Ileana?
Correct. For decades, it was only 10%, and lately it raised to 13%, the 5-year survival rate.
The 5 years.
Meaning, for 100 people that get diagnosed, only 13 make it to 5 years.
And I've watched the toll that it took on my my uncle, and he's also my godfather, and I watched what it did to the family, and I watched this vibrant, healthy man he was the patriarch of my dad's side of the family, and what it did to him and the family and the suffering, and he fought like hell. And he got that thing called the Whipple.
Yeah, Whipple procedure, which is the surgery.
And I just know that he said that was the most painful thing he'd ever been through in his entire life.
Yeah, we were talking about that off the air, how pancreatic cancer, what we know as just lay people, like, the dumb it down version, is that you when you find it, it's already almost too late. And Leanna and I were saying this off the air.
I always talk about prostate cancer and colon cancer. My dad had like colonoscopies help with that, but this does not help.
Yeah, how do people find it, Ileana?
Correct. So one of the challenges with pancreatic cancer are the symptoms are so vague. So you're going to have abdominal or back pain, unexplained weight loss, jaundice or yellowing of the skin,
bloating,
loss of appetite, bloating, indigestion, and changes on your stool. So a lot of people don't look at the stools, but sometimes it turns into this yellow, grayish clay type of stool.
So for those of you just tuning in, Ileana's job as a former nurse navigator is once you're diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, she would take you on from the diagnosis moment all the way through the journey. That's why she's called a nurse navigator. You're navigating this cancer journey, and the bloating thing and the back pain, that's what's so shocking because everybody has back pain. Everyone's like, oh, my back hurts. Oh, my back hurts. And off the air, we were saying how you have so many patients that come in there and you go to the doctor and you're like, oh, my back hurts and I'm bloated, and they give you other treatments of what to do. And then finally somebody says, let's do a CT scan, and they see it.
Correct.
And by that point, it's already like stage 4.
Most of the time.
And that is why it's such a low percentage for the 5-year survival
It's also
rate.
the location of the pancreas as well.
Yes.
Because it's really deep in the abdominal cavity.
So what are you guys doing this
find.
Saturday then? Are you having a big event?
Yes.
People can come out to raise funds because obviously it probably takes money for research.
The research. So we through PanCan, we do fund a lot of research. And this Purple Stride event is going to happen this Saturday, April 26th at the Rob Fleming Park in Spring, Texas. The event opens at 8 o'clock for check-in. The ceremony starts at 9, the walk begins at 9:30, and the event concludes at 11:30. You still can register or donate.
How long is this walk?
Is
it like a 5K?
5K, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of activities for kids. There's face painting. You can do whatever you want. You can only visit, you can walk, you can run.
Doing
what we want to do
honor, is your friend that has it. You can...
It says you can grab a snack. There's an event village. You can write on the tribute wall. You can take pictures with your family and friends in the photo area. You'll be inspired during the opening ceremony before you set off on the 5K. We're talking about PanCan's website, PanCan for pancreatic cancer. It's pancan.org. That's where you're going to find the information for this event, Purple Stride, Houston 2025, in spring, 8 o'clock, Saturday morning, April 26th is when it kicks off. You said the actual walk starts at 9:30, correct? Yes.
And there's going to be some traffic around there, right? Because there's there's like an Ironman. I see Ironman, Texas is taking place nearby. So there's maybe some traffic in that area.
And the website shows all the
all of a sudden Ryan goes, and then he ends up in the Ironman.
No, they'd be very disappointed.
Well, you're the middleman.
Purple Stride is an amazing day where survivors, families, caregivers, friends, physicians, and researchers will celebrate people currently affected and honor those that we've lost and take steps to end pancreatic cancer. So if anything, maybe somebody who's listening right now knows somebody in their family or friend circle or themselves. You've been struggling with back pain and you're bloated and you don't feel right and you don't know what's up. And some of those symptoms Ileana mentioned, you're like, I don't know, my doctor gave me some indigestion pills, or they said maybe I should go to physical therapy for my back. Maybe you should ask for a CT scan.
How's that work? If you ask the doctor,
Can you ask for that, or what kind of test can we ask for?
You need to advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
So a lot of doctors will say, no, there's nothing, keep on taking this.
Why do they care? Why can't they just say, yeah, do it?
Because
first
it's
of all,
secure, not healthcare.
Yeah, it's expensive to get a CT
I mean, if you're going to
done.
pay for it through your insurance, I just need you to sign off on it. I'd be like, I'll take it. I'm paying for it.
Oh, yeah, Ileana, that's a good
I'd be like,
question. If you
why does the
request
doctor
it
care?
from your doctor, can your doctor then order it because you're insisting on the CT scan?
They can.
Okay.
Yeah, but see, the insurance companies will fight a lot of times. They won't want to pay. For instance,
And then they'll
to
be
this
out.
day, my doctor ordered a particular scan for me because he really believed I had cancer. And the insurance companies to this day have denied paying that. They would not pay it. Even after it proved that I did have cancer. They don't pay. So cost is definitely a factor for most Americans.
Yeah. And look, in a related way, if you have heard me talk about Advanced Body Scan for so long, Advanced Body Scan is a place in Bel Air off of Newcastle and Bissonnette where you can go get a scan from your chin to your hips. You know, they do the heart scans, all this stuff. If
It's
you
awesome
get scanned
there.
one time, you see everything.
Because I'm afraid of like closed spaces, and it was wide open. It was like 4 minutes.
It's the
5
open
minutes.
donut. What do you call that one, Ileana? It's the open donut CT scan. You're in and out in like 3 minutes. They just scan you. The machine looks like a giant
it's
donut.
not like an MRI
it's not
machine where you
encased.
It's not
like-
encased.
Yeah, because those MRIs are very stressful if they're encased. It has the beeping and the beeping and the beeping, and you're in there for a long time. This is very fast. It's like that open donut. You're in and you're out, and they scan you, and that's a way you can get it too.
And you can do your heart there too.
Right,
and,
you
like,
do your heart scan and all that. But it is true. I mean, the way that our healthcare works is very frustrating. But we're here to give you the information and see where you go with it. Because according to what Ileana has seen and how she is the spokesperson for PanCan, there's all these different symptoms that you might think is something else. It actually is about pancreatic cancer.
Make sure, if your family's got a history of this, then that's something else to look for.
Correct.
If you know members of the family.
There is a genetic component
genetic?
to pancreatic cancer. Yes.
The thing that I struggle with, Ileana, is we were talking about being immigrants off the air. Ileana is originally from Colombia. She moved here in 93.
I want to see a photo of you and your husband because your husband's Swedish.
Oh, yeah, they met at the bookstore, by the
Any
way.
kids?
That's a whole other story. He walked up to her at the bookstore.
Like the Swedish chef.
Sam, I was thinking, like, what kind of weirdo do you think he was? Like, oh, is this your jam? You just come to bookstores and hit on girls? It took her a year to go out with him. I know, that's so cute.
Like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
The
cute.
Swedish
That's really
chef.
sweet.
The Swedish chef.
Wow.
But I was thinking
I
about
need to
being
meet a chef.
immigrants. Like, do we even know our immigrant line of what our family passed away from? Like, I always say, like, in my Greek world, like, if I look at my great-grandparents, my grandparents, and my aunts and uncles, they're like, oh, they died of, the word in Greek is kefaliko. What does that mean? Literally translates, like, from head problem. Like, what the hell does that
They just
mean?
throw it out
We
there.
don't know what they had. Like, we don't know if pancreatic goes in the line, but if you know it, that's more information. You know, at least you know that it was in your line, because family history is important.
Everyone's saying they won't approve it. Insurance companies.
They won't prove. They won't approve it.
They don't want to
It's
approve
too
it.
expensive.
That is
Insurance
a
won't
big
cover
deal.
it. It's just sad.
That's a big deal, yeah.
Well,
and
that's why we
remember,
need-
pancreatic cancer is the 10th most commonly diagnosed cancer in America.
Third leading cause of cancer-related death.
Going after lung cancer and colorectal.
You think it'd be cheaper to
Man.
have people do these, then you figure it out, then they're not spending all that money to try and fix it for years.
It's sick.
Unfortunately.
They have some quote. They have some
Yeah.
some
With most,
system they
most
could
of these
add.
insurance companies, the bottom line is the bottom line.
Well, Ileana, thanks so much for coming in today to give us all this information. And I hope your event is a smashing success. Saturday, April 26th,
Hey,
guys.
thanks for reaching
8
out.
a.m.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Go to pancan.org and click Purple Stride Houston 2025.
Love that color.
Or do /Houston.
That's right.
You will get it.
Pancan.org/Houston. Okay. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for drawing attention to this as well.
For sure. And we'll talk to you in the raw feed about how you met your husband in the bookstore more.
Oh, yes.
All right.
And how do you don't talk to strangers?
Yeah.